You guys ready to see my IDL Season 3 draft? Well, let's get into it. Like I said, this is my IDL Season 3 draft. So, the very first thing I did is we're going to go into what my franchise was from Season 2. That was Zapdos. Now, Zapdos is a Pokemon that I actually have very little experience in. I've only used it in one league, and that was IDL Season 2. But I was pleasantly surprised in using it, in the options that this Mon has. Now, being an electric flying type gives it some good typing. It's weak to really like ice and rock only is the only ones that I'm thinking just off the top of my head. It might be weak to more, but that's what I'm aware it is weak of. Weak to, weak of. Wow. I'm sick, guys, so I'm not gonna bother editing any of this, but look at these stats. So already we're getting a pretty bulky, somewhat speedy Pokemon. And one of my main issues in leagues is that I don't go for speed usually. So I always end up with a very, very slow team at the end of the draft. So I wanted to change that this time and I needed some fast Pokemon at the beginning. So I thought if I franchise this, I can get a good Pokemon to pair with it and have a good set. Now having Static, always good. Rocky Helmet, Roost, you know, for reliable recovery. It can Volt Switch, it can Defog. It's overall a very solid Pokemon, and we'll go into a little more of the typings after I spotlight each mon. Now, I believe I was 9th in the draft, and I was thinking, well, I wasn't gonna pick a tier 1, I was gonna kind of wait, but then it came to my turn, and a certain mon was still on the board, and I didn't have a choice. I saw Kyurem Black on the board, and I was like, ooh, I can't let that fall any further. You know, all the Tapus had gone at this point, Magearna had gone at this point, but I was thinking, it's Kyurem Black. It's one of the best Pokemon in League right now. You know, it's maybe surpassed by, like, Tapu Lele, but even then, I can deal with Tapu Lele with this thing. It's got, like, I think the highest base stat total of Pokemon allowed in leagues. It's got great coverage. Its typing is pretty good. It's got amazing stats and everything. Like, 170 attack. That's huge. 95 speed as well was something I was very excited about getting. Because, like I said, speed is always an issue for me. So getting this will help out that. Now, going into round 2, I needed to get the Mega I wanted because I knew Tapus are going to be dominant this season. So my main answer for Tapus is going to be Mega Aggron, as Mega Aggron can wall Tapus pretty well outside of a Z-move shenanigans. Outside of Z-moves, this thing takes what a Tapu brings pretty good. And even with a Z-move, there is Protect. So usually I'm going to be running a pretty bulky set to kill most Tapus with like a Heavy Slam. And then, Protect on the off chance it has an OHKO move. Now, going into round 3, I wanted to get a fairy because I was realizing, wow, you know what? A lot of good fairies have gone. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to have to get like Rabombi or something this round. But actually was able to get Florges. Now, Florges, very comfortable using, just like Mega Aggron. These are staples in my Dragon Steel Fairy core because I've used them so many times. I'm very comfortable with them, and I like the synergy that they have with one another, with Mega Aggron having a hyper defense and Florges having a hyper special defense. They create a nice little duo there that can take most moves pretty well. So I really do enjoy that. Now, going into round 4, I got Nidoqueen. And I got Nidoqueen because I was thinking, I need a ground type. A poison type's always nice to have. Nidoqueen is on board. I have a little bit of experience with Nidoqueen. So getting Nidoqueen allows me to have a Sheer Force user. It allows me to have Toxic Spikes. It gives me a second Stealth Rocker. That means I don't have to run Mega Aggron with rocks. And overall, looking at its stats, they're all pretty balanced. It's a very good Assault Vest user, it's a very good Choice Band user, it's a very good Choice Scarf user. You know, this thing really does its job, which is to just wreck some face. Now, going into round 5, I actually had one of the biggest snipes of the century. And I was outright saying, you know, I'm going to pick this Mon. I'm going to pick this Mon. And the guy didn't believe me, and it was logical rhythm. And I did take his Blastoise. And I was telling him all along that I'm taking Blastoise, and he didn't believe me. But the reason, and now I hope he understands why I did this, is looking at my team up until this point, my only way of removing hazards was Defog. So I knew I needed a good water type. I was very much considering Greninja. It was a very close between Greninja and Blastoise, but after thinking of what Greninja can do, yeah, it can set up like toxic spikes, it can set up spikes, but it's not Protean. And overall, I was just not happy with what Greninja brought to my team, so I decided to go with Blastoise for that added bulk. Because 78 speed is not horrible. It's already getting a little bit, you know, that's where I'm comfortable. That's where I usually fall in for speed, is around, you know, that's pretty fast for what I draft. So having the experience with, you know, Nidoqueen, with the previous Mons, I wanted to kind of diversify. Very little experience with Blastoise, but I'm sure that I can make it work as a very solid rapid spinner and, you know, just tank and damager in general. Going into round 6, I knew I needed another rapid spinner. I also wanted to get a little further into my Fire, Water, Grass core, so I picked Delamise. Now, this was a hard pick for me. This was a pick between either Delamise or Arcanine, and if I had picked Arcanine, I would have gone with Serena. That being said, I saw Serena get sniped. So I was like, ooh, I know I need to get Delamise right now. So I picked Delamise, and then I knew for my fire type I was going tier 4. So what Delamise does for me is gives me a nice answer to certain Tapus. It gives me a nice, huge steel move in Anchor Shot, which is Steel Worker. You know, Choice Banded Steel Worker Anchor Shot does a lot of damage, even to Mons that resist it. Plus the added utility of that Mon can't switch out. Again, a very slow Pokemon, but having a Grass Ghost type is always nice, I've found. The typing to be very unique. Going into this round, I got myself my Fire type in Blaziken. Now, Blaziken, it's a Mon I have a lot of experience with, and it's more than likely going to end up being a Z-Move user for me. Now, I actually have not announced my Z-Move users. However, I'm going to be honest with you guys, they're probably going to end up being Kyurem Black, Nidoqueen, and Blaziken. Now, I'm not finalized on that, obviously, but that's where I'm leaning as of now. Because, you know, the draft isn't even over yet. I have just personally finished my team, so. You know, going into the next round, after seeing Blaziken having great coverage, I decided to go into Uxie. And Uxie gave me another Mon that can set up rocks. And that was what I was really looking for here. Because, you know, like I said, I have Nidoqueen, I have Mega Aggron. Those are my only real rockers. So getting Uxie allows me to, A, have a very good Hyper Tank. B, have some pretty decent speed. C, it's got pretty good coverage. D, Stealth Rock and Cleric. Gotta love it. You know, my only cleric before this was Florges, so. Now, going into the second to last round for myself, third last round for people who didn't franchise, I was realizing, you know what? The last two Mons I really don't care about. I had one in mind that I got last round, but for this second to last round for myself, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick up Pikumiku. And Pikumiku is a very interesting Mon. It's got a very Wobbuffet-like effect in League where, you know, it's okay, but it's nothing to cry home over. And I'm very much saving Pikumiku for very specific matchups where I'm anticipating a very high damaging move from a mon maybe that wants to set up. And what that'll allow me to do is to reverse kill with like innards out, or I could unaware. Now Pikumiku is a very awkward mon, and I'm very much hoping I can use it, but I'm not sure. So now my last mon here is Tauros, and I really wanted an Intimidate user. I needed something above base 100 speed that hits pretty hard. Looking at it, it has that, you know, it has all of the traits that I wanted it to have. Looking at the coverage it actually gets, I was surprised. You know, I could do a massive double edge or body slam, which is stab, or I could do something like Earthquake, or I could do something like Iron Head, Outrage, Pursuit, Rock Slide, you know, Stone Edge, Zen Headbutt, Wild Charge. I was very surprised when I saw the coverage that this mon gets. And obviously I was surprised because not only does this mon get really good coverage, it's got some pretty good stats to back it up with Intimidate. So already pretty happy with this. Now it's not the Intimidate user I wanted, but it is the Intimidate user I deserved. So now I'm just going to show you my IDL Season 3 team page. It's right here. Nothing has happened yet, but we're going to just take a quick little looky here. No points left. Oh well. Going down here, these are the stats of my mons. So overall base average of 80, 102, 108, 83, 99, and 73. Now, all of these stats are a little bit skewed because Pikumiku. Now, Pikumiku having a 5 in speed and, you know, above average defenses means that my defenses are going to be a lot higher than they should be, and my speed is going to be a lot lower than it should be. So my speed overall should be closer to, what, 75, 76? But because Pikumiku, it becomes lower. And I say that because Pikumiku is not coming every week. It will be lucky if it comes more than 3 times. Because it's there for very specific matchups for very specific mons as an answer. Just going down here, looking, I did get a nice 3 rockers and toxic spikes, so I'm pretty happy about that. You know, abilities, I got the nice filter, I got a good Terravolt, I got some good abilities here, I'm pretty happy with those. I got 2 spinners and a defogger, so I'm never unhappy having 3 ways of removing hazards, as well as 2 clerics, so very happy with that. Going into my weaknesses and resistances, 33 weaknesses around total, with, again, none of them being above 3, and that is huge for me. I'm a very big stickler for making sure that I don't ever have a weakness at more than 3 mons having a weakness. Now, sometimes it doesn't work out, but overall, I just personally like having that. Now, resistances, I have 53 resistances, which is pretty good. Now, there are teams out there with a lot more, but overall, I'm happy with where I'm at because I don't have any ×4 weaknesses, and I have 7 immunities, and they're not even all in the same type. You know, I have an immunity to, like, poison, I have immunity to normal, I have immunity to ground, ghost, fighting, dragon. I believe I have an immunity to, I think that's it. But either way, it's nice to have these immunities because they give me free switches on certain types of moves. So if I predict electric move, boom, ground type Nidoqueen's going in. Anyway, guys, that is my IDL Season 3 draft. Let me know what you think. Any of the mons that you like here? Any of the mons that you're picking up in leads you see in here? Let me know in the comment section down below. I've been Vampire218, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!